homestead with a little bit of snow coming down a little thicker all the time. I'm not sure how much we're going to get here in the Bull Mountains, but a little moisture would not hurt. We've had a pretty dry winter so far, but it might hinder Cowboy and his plan for the day. He's working at putting up higher fences around our garden area, as the deer have made our homestead their home, and they've done some damage to our trees, and they're just feeling too comfortable around. So he did start putting up a higher barbed wire and more panels higher up. So hopefully he can still get that project done later today, and we'll check in on him if he does. That's the last of our corn stalks from last year. They've been bundled up first for decoration, and now the goats get to have them for a winter treat. Cowboy's been busy putting up fence around our garden. There they go. They're gonna like that. They're all looking fat and sassy. They're probably about 3 months off from kidding. Their baby bellies are showing already on some, I can tell. But we've really been having trouble with the deer getting in our garden area. So Cowboy's been putting up extra panels up high so they can't jump in. They're getting to our orchard. We planted 20-some apple and plum trees last spring, and they're trying to do damage. And so we'll walk over there, take a look. But this is a good little snack, winter snack for the girls. Cowboy dumped a bucket of ashes for the chickens to scratch around in and dust bath. Looks like they've been wearing it out. Looks like most of the girls are inside the coop today. There's a cool breeze. He found another bundle. I think that's the last of them though. I've fed quite a few of them. The big girls are excited to give it a try too. They know it's a treat. So the donkeys came up for a little treat too. Everybody's getting a little treat from last year's garden. That's one of the naughty hens that will not stay in the coop. She's got a mind of her own. And I'm sure I've got eggs either in the barn or who knows, probably everywhere. Hey, Pedro. How are you today? I haven't seen you for a while. Hi. And there's little Pee-wee, the little zebu heifer. She was our main little calf last year to help empty out milk cows. She had a few different mamas, but she would always go to the back of the cow and nurse and help empty out the bag. Hey, Ginger. You're liking that attention, aren't you, Pedro? Huh? Yeah. I'll be training Ginger up. I started last year putting her on the stanchion. She did really well because she's so friendly. She thinks she's human. Her and her twin sister, which is over there, the spotted brown and white one, right there. When they were born, there were triplets. I sold the little boy right away as a bottle baby, thinking Mama could only take care of two. Well, Mama would not take care of even these two. She was full bore, and she hated taking care of her babies. So what I ended up having to do is bottle feed them somewhat. When she was eating, when the mama would be eating, these two would run instantly behind the back of her and start nursing from the back end. And she was so naughty that mama would squat and pee on their heads every time. She hated them. She hated them. But I could at least let them keep getting some milk from her, and I also mixed up some, and I would give them bottles. So I was their mama as much as their real mama. And so it made them tame. It made them friendly and sweet. I can hear Cowboy in the tractor. I'm not sure what he's up to. But these are my big girls. And they are in with a boar buck. Boar Billy. And he should be in here somewhere. There he is. I can see him. The back end of him there. He's the boar right behind the zebu. My little zebu heifer, she's only about the size of a big goat. She'll get a little bigger as she gets older, but she's going to always be a tiny little cow. She'll probably be left in here. I won't breed her until she's probably even 5, if I think 4 or 5 years old. If she looks big enough, then I might breed her. Otherwise, she's just going to live with these goats. And Pedro. Pedro will have to be castrated eventually, so he's not naughty to the goats. Right now, he's good. He might play with them and chase them around a little bit, but he's not getting severely mean and ornery with them yet, so... But everybody's coats are looking really good. They're nice and fat. I do need to get some more minerals out. They've got iodized salt block, which is very important. But their coats are all looking pretty good. Nice and fat and healthy. That's pretty good stuff, huh, Heidi? Yeah, it's pretty good stuff. That's my old milking goat, Heidi, and she's the boss, as you can tell. They all go circles around her. She is the goat I usually milk when I want a little goat milk, and I use her milk in the kitchen as well as making my goat milk soap. Now that goat to the left, the black and white one, she's a nice big goat, but she's not a touch-me friendly kind of goat at all. I don't get out to handle them as much as I'd like when they're little. So for that reason, you know, some of them just don't get as friendly as others. But they raise nice babies, and she's a good big Nubian. Pretty good treat. And they all back off. When she moves her head, they back off, which I'm glad. I'm glad they're smart enough to do that, because she could do some damage. I got her when she had horns, and when they're that big, I just don't really like the thought of trying to take them off. But it is a nuisance to have those big horns. trying to get away from horns, so Heidi's getting some age to her, but she always has 2 babies in the spring. Every spring she'll have twins. And there's another Nubian. And those are some big goats. And I can see there's baby bellies in there. But they've got a long ways to go. So we'll head over to the garden area and take a look at what Cowboy's been doing. I helped him finish putting up the last 3 panels. Like I said, those deer lately, well, they've been living here all winter, and there's no snow on the ground, so they could be out grazing the hills. You know, when there's deep snow, it's a little different story when they're in your hay, but now they're not just in our hay, they're getting into our garden area, they're destroying our orchard trees, and that's something we're working hard to try to get going around here on the homestead. Now that little shed over there, if you go back to some of my older YouTube videos, you'll see where Cowboy and I built that together. We were given the tin. It's refurbished tin, hail damaged. All we had to buy were the planks, the 2x16 planks. 2x6 by 16 foot is what they were. And we had the posts, and we were able to put that up. I think it took us about a week together to work on that and get that up, and it is so nice. It's a good shelter for my goats on both sides, because I've got my goats sorted. I've got the smaller breed over on the other side with the smaller billy, and then this side has the bigger breed. So they all get in out of the winter weather, rain, sleet, whatever, and they're pretty lucky to have that. So I think we decided it cost maybe about $300 to build that, and it is 16 by, I want to say, 32. So it's a nice big shed, a big area for them. So we'll head over to the garden area and take a look. Well, I came in to take a peek in the barn to see, because that black chicken that's running loose, she come out of here just a cackling. And I'm sure there's eggs in here somewhere, and I thought maybe in this fresh straw she'd have them, but she's probably got them hid out. But I'll have to dig around and see. So this is what Cowboy's been working at, trying to put up extra fence above my picket fence, because the deer are just making havoc in our orchard. And so he's went around, he's put up several panels there. We'll go walk down here, take a look. He's put up more here above the picket fence. And I know this little area around the corner, we had a 5-foot fence and that wasn't tall enough, so he's putting extra barbed wire. He's going to be working at putting barbed wire up, maybe 2 strands, and that's going to help on this side. Those deer come down out of those hills, and they like to live right here in our bale, and then now into the garden area, and they're ruining it. And that garden is our life, our livelihood, our food for our homestead, and so we've got to do what we can to protect that. Here they come. They think they're going to get another treat of something different. So I think they're going to be in good shape for the rest of the day. Cowboy's given them quite a bit of hay. They've had some corn, so they can clean this up till tomorrow. So this is the entrance to my garden area. It's just a fake old building front, and that's my special sitting on the porch area. It's a little too chilly today, but that day's coming, folks. That day's coming. But this is into our garden area, and this is up in that corner is where we've got some little fruit trees, and they've hurt a lot of them. As you can see, that one right there, they've chewed on. before we realized it. We've got raspberries here. You can't really see with the ground, the color the way it is, but we've got several rows, or 2 rows of several raspberry plants. This is another part of our garden area, but it looks pretty sad compared to all you folks and friends down south. You're getting ready to plant gardens. We've got a lot of work to do, and it's a long ways from garden time in Montana. A long ways. We still have a winter to soak up, enjoy by the wood fire, and recoup and make lots of plans. But it will be nice again. We grew a lot of food last summer out of this garden, but we do have an issue, and I'll show you. That came probably after we dug potatoes, after we emptied the garden out. But look at all these molehills. We are going to have an issue with moles. All these piles of dirt are the moles living underground. And they go underground and they eat up all those roots and kill your plants. And they really found us last fall. And that's got me worried. The deer have me worried. And I just pray that we have a good garden season. Anyway, my fingers are getting cold. I'm going to go check the fire, put another log on, pour me a cup of coffee, and then I've got a project going in the kitchen of my herbs that I've bought, dried herbs for teas, and I'm working at putting those in jars and making me a medicinal herb garden, herb cupboard, I should say, herb tea garden, whatever, you know what I mean, an herb tea cupboard. That's what I want to say, folks, because I don't edit this. That's what I meant to say. Meet me in the house. Well, we made it into the house. It's a little chilly out there. It's chilly. I'll check this fire. Yeah, looks like it's ready for a log. So we better fill the wood box up, the firebox. Keep this old farmhouse warm, cozy. There's nothing cozier than wood heat. Goes right to the bone. And my fingers are chilly. They're cold. And it feels good here. Looks like I need to take a newspaper, clean the top of my stove again. It's a little bit dirty, but boy does it feel good. This is our main heat for all you new folks joining us here at Prairie Girl and Cowboy Homestead. That is our main heat all winter. All winter long we use it to cook on. So if you're just joining us here on our channel, please go ahead and subscribe. It's free, doesn't cost a thing. It just helps us out. Give us a thumbs up or a comment below. This is just Cowboy and I's life here on the homestead. Today's lunch on the homestead, as we have errands to do later, is a quick fried rice. I fried an onion from our garden. I put in a little bit of ham from the fridge. I crushed some garlic cloves. I had a little bowl of rice in the refrigerator, some leftovers. I'm heating it all up in the pan with a little butter. And I've got some fresh egg whipped up with a little bit of garlic, salt, seasonings inside the egg. That's going to get poured onto this real soon. And fry that up. And we'll have a plate of fried rice to give us a little strength for the rest of the afternoon. will just all get scrambled together. It makes a good lunch. I like our eggs well done, like this. A fried egg, the yolk can be, warmed and runny, but the whites, those have to be cooked. I don't like a runny white. But I want to get these scrambled eggs in this fried rice dry and well cooked through. And we'll have this with some fresh snap peas from the grocery store. And you can always sprinkle a little of shredded cheese on this or Parmesan. But it makes a tasty lunch. So just a little something from the homestead. Just a little tip. You got leftover meat of any kind. I'd just warm it up in the pan with a little bit of butter and onion and garlic. Add your rice, add your eggs, and you've got a really good meal. And you can add veggies right to this. Had I had some veggies prepped in the refrigerator, I probably would have warmed those up in the butter and added that. So there's no wrong way, no right way. You just use what you've got in your refrigerator. Make you a good warm meal. I've got lots of farm fresh eggs right now. And this is just a good way to use them up. So I've moved my little workstation table from the old primitive cupboard over to this area. And this is what I'm working on now. And sorry for that bright light coming through the window. I'm working on my medicinal herb tea cupboard. There we go. And it's not just for medicinal, it's just a good cup of tea, but also to help boost our immune systems, keep us well. If we're getting a germ bug, I've got concoctions that we can put together to help that out. But I've got a few jars filled so far, as you can see. And I've still got more bags to go. I've got extra herbs down here that I haven't got in jars yet that are on the shelf already. I've got books out. I've got magazines that I've collected for years. Just getting ready. I'd have to say this is years in progress because I've collected all of these magazines, one a year probably, for a long time, thinking eventually I want to get to the spot where I can do a lot more for just us. And this is where I'm going with all of this. I've got some good books here. Natural and herbal remedies, medicinal teas, and home apothecary. And this one is Anne's book. I love it. Medicinal herbs. And that one I picked up just foraging in your backyard. Because I know we've got like echinacea out here. We've got yarrow. We've got the mullein plant, which up here is what I've harvested last summer in our garden area. It showed up, a big mullein plant. So I've got one jar of mullein leaves, and then I've also right there in the little jar, that is mullein flower oil and garlic infused for ears, earaches, that type of thing. And so I know nothing about a lot of this. I'm learning. I'm going to try to keep doing as much study and research as possible and just go from there and try my different blends. You know, I think, oh, there's a ginger root. That would be good with some of my dried oranges that I have. Maybe a cinnamon stick. The marshmallow root I think would go good with that. I've got oregano in case, you know, we've got a bad germ. That one really builds up your immune system too. But I think there's a lot of these that I could go ahead and mix together and make a really good tea. And I have never tried the stevia before, the leaves. This was the first. And the other night I made Cowboy and I a cup of tea with, let's see, plantain. And I can't remember what all I put in there. But anyway, the stevia, I did put like maybe 2 pinches of that into 2 big mugs, and that was way too much. It was just like dumping a bunch of sugar in there. So I know, and I'm not a sweet tea drinker, so I know now that I really don't want to, if I do put a little sweetener in, it's just like a leaf or 2 because it was very strong. But that's good. That's a good thing. That's good to have that sweetener there. So I'm pretty excited. And my plan, and I would love to be able to grow these herbs and harvest them. And some I can grow. I can grow my peppermint and my spearmint, but they just don't grow real well here for me. I'm either in too cold a climate or I don't know what I'm doing. And so for me to start with now, I have actually took a little money from my savings, which this is a big investment for what I've done, to go ahead and get these filled up and on my shelf. It's a big investment, and so I did feel it necessary at this time to take a little of that savings and put it into something really beneficial for our homestead. And this is something I've been going to do, and it does take money, so it's just been something that I just keep bumping down and hoping for, and I've been collecting the books, magazines, and so I'm finally there, I think. I think I can finally get this done. I may find another spot for all those little spice containers and move them off the way, and because I know I've got enough herbs to fill that shelf too. So bear with me in my mess, because you got to have a mess if you're going to get anything done. That's what my mom always told me. But I got my workstation here, so I'm going to grab a cup of coffee, some more jars, and round up the rest of my herbs that came in the mail and get some more jars taken care of. Well, you found me at my little workstation. My trusty little old table here is pretty small. It's a little ruffle around the edges, but it's small enough, light enough. I can move it from area to area for wherever I'm working in my little, I call it my primitive room. But it's just my work area. It is my work area in my kitchen, and I really enjoy it. But this area right here is getting a makeover, and it's kind of a mess right now. It's a work in progress. The spices here will come down and go somewhere. I have to find a good spot for them. The stuff up above will come down, and there will be more jars up there as needed. And I'm just working at filling more jars here right now. So another thing I wanted to show you. Okay, one thing first. If you haven't got your Countryside magazine yet, go ahead and find it at the Tractor Supply or Big R. I was pretty excited about this. We have pictures and a little write-up that I did. These are all pictures I've taken with my phone, my cell phone. And I did the little write-up, which is my first. And for me, it's something I always thought would be fun to do. And it's nothing great for the write-up. I know some people would look at it and think, wow, she can't spell, she can't put words together. But that was coming from me. That's just the way I am. And I'm pretty excited for this very first time. So this encourages me that, yes, I can do this. I can. It's always something that I've wanted to try, whether it be a little book with just a little story of our cowboy and I, and to show the pictures that I take with my phone And I don't know if you can really see that. It has my old porch. It has our eggs. It has Cowboy. It's got Heidi, my milking goat that I showed you earlier. It shows our wood cook stove and what we cook on it. The chickens. All my garden produce. That's what my kitchen looks like in a late summer fall. And the barnyard in the spring. The red barn you see there finds lots of baby goats. And there was our garden last year. That was my broccoli, my cauliflower, my zucchini, my peas, my peppers. That's what you're seeing in that little picture. So the little walk around we saw this morning in the garden, that's what it looked like last summer. So I'm anxious and excited to do that again. But for now, it's just dreaming because we are in Montana. It's February. It's winter. And we're a long ways from growing. I probably won't start any plants in the greenhouse or the house until late, right at the end of February. 1st of March will be the soonest for me. But, so anyway, if you haven't found that issue, go out and find it. I'm pretty excited about it. I got another box of seeds yesterday, and these are all from Seed Savers. Oops, let's see, we can turn some more of these around a little bit. And so I did get a good variety of seeds. Now this I've tried one time from somebody, and it was actually really good. We took it home and washed them up, sliced them, and fried them like a potato. And they were really tasty. So I got those. I got some bigger bags for packages of, let's see, this is peas. And that's peas. These beans, that's a bean. So they're bigger bags. This is a big bag of, I want to say, corn. And that is Golden Bantam. And so we got that box yesterday. I've gotten my order from Baker's Creek. And I've sorted out all my herbs in the front because they're the ones that I'm going to be trying to work on first, maybe in the house, and starting those later on. But not yet. I have too many other projects I want to get done. I'm still not at the point where I feel like I can get all my ingredients out and start a batch of soap. I didn't get all my canning done yet that I want to get done. There's just so many projects and not enough hours in a day for this prairie girl. But anyway, lots of seeds coming. You can tell. And here's another one. I haven't tried this one yet. This is the first time I've ordered from this, seeds and such. But they were pretty cheap, and I thought, well, I'm going to try them. So anyway, I'm going to go get a cup of coffee before I start this job. So welcome back. Yes, I did grab that cup of coffee. This mug has been my favorite lately. It was one I found, I believe it was for a $1 at the Goodwill store last fall when I was out shopping around. Yes, I like to shop Goodwill. I like to shop the thrifty secondhand stores. And I just thought, well, I filled a few jars here. We would just chat a little bit about how we've gotten to where we're at here on the homestead with Cowboy and I. For all you new ones that are just following us, before I forget, you can go over to Facebook page and find us on there. It's called Prairie Girl Farm over there. Prairie Girl Farm. It's not Prairie Girl and Cowboy Homestead. I do have one like that on there because I had to do a backup Facebook page at one point because I couldn't do anything on my main page. So I had made a backup page, and there's not much going on that, but that's kind of on the back burner in case I need that one. All the folks that are on our Prairie Girl Farm page, we're close to 2,900 folks on there. And that's what it's called, Prairie Girl Farm. So pop over to Facebook, find my page there. There's lots of little quick videos there and lots of pictures. and just more of a daily thing going on there. And so anyway, we are on Instagram, and that's Prairie Girl too. And that's how we started it. But for our page, I kind of wanted to draw Cowboy into it. And that's how we got Cowboy in. And he's getting braver all the time. Just give him time. He's just one of those old Montana ranchers that all he's known how to do is raise hay, raise meat for the country, work his hard hands off. So this is all a little new to him, but I think he's enjoying it. So give him time. I think I'll have him on here more as the time goes. So maybe an encouraging word saying, hey, Cowboy, hop on. That might help. But anyway, I'm just going to go ahead. Well, it smells good. This is just my cinnamon sticks. And I love a spicy tea. I think the next tea I'm going to try here is my elderberry and maybe some lemon that I've dried. Or maybe even my orange slices that I've dried, as well as a cinnamon stick. And I bet that would make a really good immune building tea and a yummy tea. So I bet I'll be able to do probably 2 more jars out of this packet. But for now, I'm just going to do one for my shelves right there. And so we've got that one done. But anyway, Cowboy and I, we've been together probably, it's 15 years. We've both had kids. Our kids, we've got 5 between us, all married, with 15 grandkids and 3 great-grandkids. Some we get to see, some we don't. Just the way life is. And not on our choice, but that's just the way it works. So we've been ranchers all of our life. And Cowboy is going to be 70 in April. And he's worked hard. He has been a hard rancher, hard hands-on. He's wore his shoulder out. His knees are bad. A few years ago, he had a trailer, tilt bed trailer, fall on his foot, demolished his foot, just ruined it. He's got a pin in his toe, and that really bothers him, as well as neuropathy. If anybody's got any natural ways of helping with neuropathy out there, let me know, because I'd really like to find something for him. But the stickler is his skin does not tolerate essential oils. And I've got the oils that would work and help, but his skin is very sensitive. And so I can't use oils on him. So it's got to be something else. I don't know what. I'm just hoping that I find the right thing that will help relieve his pain in the evening especially. So anyway, we were ranchers all of our life, raised kids, extra cowboys around all the time, feeding. So there were big meal days, big cattle working days, shipping, brandings, weaning time, putting up hay, feeding the hay in the winter, cleaning corrals, putting up fence. It was just a busy life. And Cowboy and I have decided it's time to slow down. He had leased a ranch for 27 years, and it was getting harder. And it wasn't a for sure ranch anymore, that he could keep that lease. And so we just felt it was time to start looking around for something a little bit different, which what we found was a lot different. We moved 150 miles south, and yes, we hated leaving family. We did. We hated to leave the family. But we had to look ahead for retirement, because a cowboy doesn't make a Social Security check that he can live on. A rancher's wife, zero. So we had to find something. His check, well, now I think he gets $600 a month. That's it. So we had to find something else to supplement our income. We came down to this area. We loved this area all the time, driving through to go to the big city. So we always noticed it. We found a place along the highway that had a body shop and storage units. I've got 26 storage units. It had a trailer house at the time, and it had some other shops. And it's right along a busy highway to a busy town. And so we did sell what we had, our cattle, a trailer, some land that we did have and own up north, and we bought this place, or bought the place that I'm talking about, not this place. And so we lived there 6 years. We felt, in that time we had one body shop guy in there. We didn't do the body shop work ourselves, but we had it rented out, and that gentleman and his family moved to Arkansas. And so we kind of tried it for a couple of years without anybody in there, but it was really hard to get by. It just was. It wasn't bringing in, the storage units were bringing in some, and we were trying to supplement by buying and selling hay, which kept us very busy on the road all the time with that. We decided, well, before that, we'll back up. We had bought this chunk of land after we had sold another chunk up in our old area. And so we had done a 1031 exchange, hurried and picked this land. All it had was a well, no power. It had solar, or no, a generator, excuse me, on it to run the well. And so we did grab this up, and it's like 10 miles from our other place. Never dreaming we would get to live here. But the good Lord had it all planned. And 2 years ago, almost, we decided to move out here and rent out our house in town and rent out our body shop and still rent out our storage units. And that gave us a comfortable income that we could actually be able to make this homestead our new home. And I'm so thankful for that, because we got off of that busy highway. We were never used to high traffic highway. We were used to boonies, 30, 40 miles out in the country all our life. So that was a big change, living on the highway. And the way it's turned out, the good Lord had his hand in it. We've got an awesome family renting it. The whole works. They rent the house, they rent the body shop, they do a great job, they've got a good business going. We still rent the storage units. And for that reason, we were able to go ahead and buy a house, which we have a few more payments left on. The land is paid for. We put power in here. All of it's paid for, but a little bit left on our house. And so when we get that debt paid for, we're debt free again, which is a relief for us. But it takes time. I hated to go back into debt because for a while we were out. But in order to make money, we had to spend a little money. And that's what got us here. But we live pretty frugal. We don't buy new vehicles. We try to find good vehicles. We go with the simpler things, as you can tell from our videos. So the house is new, but it's our home now. It's got the country feel. We've added on the porch for our wood cook stove. We've put the root cellar in. Cowboy's getting his shop finally, and I'm so happy for that. So that's kind of how we got to this spot here. And it'll be 2 years in April that we moved out here, and we've done a lot. There was nothing on this spot. There was just a bare hill that we had stacked our hay previous years to come out to this property to feed our cattle. So we did have a little barbed wire fence around the hay, but that was all that was here. So everything you see in our videos, we have put up and started from scratch. It will be 2 years in end of April, 1st of May. So for 2 years, for two older folks, we're doing pretty dang good, I think. And so that's why we take the winter like we do and recoup. And I'm making this video pretty long. And right now I'm going to go ahead and probably end it here. But I wanted to let you know kind of how we got down here. And we'll go from this story, the end of this, to another video of maybe even farther behind that, or as we progress on. So we want to welcome you to our channel, Prairie Girl and Cowboy Homestead. We want you to know we appreciate you following us, I have no edits because I do not know how to edit. I don't know that I'm YouTube material, but here I am. I'm sharing a little part of Cowboy and I's life here on the homestead, things we do, things we plan on doing, and things we feel are important, which I feel this is important right now. And so I hope you enjoyed today. Take care. God bless, and welcome to our homestead.